it was an ex-boyfriend, I didn't necessarily weaponize Nico, but I can see how it would have come across like that because I was like, that's my son. He like back off. But it wasn't a fair statement, right? That wasn't fair. And I didn't like that I did that. Otherwise, I went through a lot of texts.
No, but sometimes
Wait, hold
also
on. Jeff, what's up? Real quick.
I'm going to say that sometimes people try to use stuff against you, but for me, I'm pretty open and honest about who I am and what I am. So there's not really a whole lot of secrets about me. So the people that know me know if somebody says something. I haven't really heard anything. I mean, stuff like that, like the porn producer thing was not true.
I find it
But it was
hilarious.
because my friend was a porn producer. So there's like sort of this grain of truth that somebody grabbed out of the air.
Of course.
And they did it. But other than my mom finding something out, I mean, I'm not perfect by any means.
Yeah.
And there's things that I've done that I wouldn't want my mom to hear about necessarily.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't like stop loving me or anything. But other than that, I don't know that there's really anything that I've done that I'm just like would be embarrassed about necessarily.
I don't. So I'm a pretty open book as well. I think there's things I like to keep private, and more because they're painful for me, not because if they actually came out, I'd be like, oh my God. And painful for me are situations that made me feel extremely uncomfortable. You and I have talked about those situations in the past, and they're not good memories for me. So, but I've definitely had stuff used against me, and obviously mine more in a relationship. But go ahead, Frankie. I know you're chomping at the bit.
No, because I was going to say, once again, it's not just all serious stuff, right? Sometimes we'll share embarrassing stories, right, that we don't want people to know. And because on my side, I'm always making jokes and laughing and making fun of people. So sometimes I'll slip, and be like, a funny story was shared, and then I'm like, in the situation, I tell it. I'm like, oh, I wasn't supposed to tell that. And then the other person's like, oh, why did you share that embarrassing?
Yeah.
So, that's what I meant too when sometimes that happens in that sort of way. It's not always like malicious,
I think you and I had a situation where I was defending you, and we won't say what it was.
Yes, that's right.
And
That's right.
you had to pull me aside the next day and say, don't ever do that to me again. And I didn't realize I'm feeling protective.
Yeah.
And but then once I listened to you, I'm like, okay, fair ask. But no ill intent.